Hi everyone, my name is Chloe. I'm a student at Edmonds College in the Human Social Services program with a focus on addiction studies. Today I have a presentation to deep dive into understanding systems theory and how it applies to social services. What is systems theory? Systems theory is a lens that helps us understand individuals, families, and communities within the interconnected networks they're a part of. For social service professionals, this theory offers individuals tools for analyzing and addressing complex challenges like addiction, homelessness, and family dynamics. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of key concepts, practical applications, and examples that bring systems theory to life. And this is the lovely man that we have to thank for this lovely theory, Ludwig von Bertalanffy. I inputted a quote that he is famous for. The fact that a theory is so vague, so insufficiently verifiable, and so far from the criteria otherwise applied in hard science has become a dogma can only be explained on sociological grounds. So, systems theory in social services. Systems theory examines how parts of a system interact to influence the whole. Originating from Ludwig von Bertalanffy's work in the 1940s, it's widely applied in social services to understand individuals within larger networks. For example, families, communities, and institutions. Social workers often address issues rooted in interdependent systems such as family dynamics, societal structures, and economic policies. Systems theory in social services allows professionals to look holistically at a client's conditions and environmental factors. So here are the core concepts to systems theory. First, we have subsystems and boundaries. Subsystems are smaller components within larger systems. So an example would be family roles. Boundaries define interactions between systems ranging from open, flexible communication to closed, rigid, and isolated. Number two is feedback loops. Positive feedback amplifies changes, whereas, in escalating family conflict, negative feedback promotes stability. An example of family routines restoring order after disruption. And we'll continue on into homeostasis. Systems naturally strive to maintain balance. An application for this would be a family might resist change when a member seeks recovery from addiction, fearing disruption to established roles. Number four, equifinality. Different paths can lead to the same outcome. In practice, various interventions such as therapy, support groups can stabilize a struggling family. Number five is multifinality. A single starting point can yield multiple outcomes. So an example of this would be two individuals with similar childhood experiences. They may have vastly different life trajectories. Let's start with subsystems and boundaries. Within a family system, parents, siblings, and extended relatives are subsystems. Boundaries dictate how these subsystems interact. Boundaries can be open, allowing for free communication, or closed, limiting interaction. A family with rigid boundaries might struggle to connect with external support systems, making it harder to address issues like unemployment or addiction. Next, we'll talk about the feedback loops. Think of a conflict between family members that escalates because there's no intervention. Negative feedback, on the other hand, works to restore balance, like family counseling that helps reduce conflict and stabilize relationships. Homeostasis refers to a system's tendency to maintain balance. However, this can sometimes prevent positive change. For instance, in families dealing with addiction, members might unconsciously maintain roles that enable the addiction because it feels stable, even though it is harmful. Equifinality means there are multiple ways to achieve the same goal. For example, different therapeutic approaches, such as individual counseling or group therapy, can both help a person recover from trauma. Multifinality, on the other hand, means the same starting point can lead to different outcomes. This explains why two people with similar childhoods can experience vastly different life trajectories. All right. Applying systems theory. In family systems theory, Murray Bowen's family systems theory focuses on patterns like triangulation, where a third party is pulled into a conflict to stabilize the relationship between two other members. This often occurs in families navigating divorce or domestic violence. The next system would be ecological systems theory. Urie Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory explores how individuals are influenced by overlapping systems. Microsystem, immediate environment, such as family or school. Mesosystem, which is interactions between microsystems, like how family dynamics impact school performance. Exosystem, which is an indirect influence, such as a parent's job. Macrosystem, a broader cultural and societal norm. In structural interventions, social service professionals often deal with systemic issues like homelessness. Using systems theory, they might analyze how the housing market, healthcare access, and employment opportunities interact to perpetuate homelessness. Interventions could include advocating for affordable housing while providing case management and services. Here's another couple examples. Right here in family systems, we'll see the example is in domestic violence cases, children may be triangulated into conflicts between parents. This, it totally makes sense when you read that out loud. And then moving forward into the ecological systems, the application. Addressing poverty involves understanding how macro level policies, for example, minimum wage laws, affect micro level realities, such as family stress. The next one is structural interventions. So, an example of this would be through case management, having some type of case manager to help work through resources and a structured intervention. Some key insights from systems theory in action. In systems theory in action, the authors emphasize the importance of viewing problems holistically. For instance, a case study involving youth homelessness highlighted how school systems, family breakdown, and mental health services intersect. Effective intervention required collaboration between these systems. Additional research supports this. Bronfenbrenner's work has shown that children's developmental outcomes improve significantly when all systems in their lives, such as family, school, and community, work together cohesively. All right, now here are our key takeaways. To wrap up, systems theory is a powerful framework for social service professionals. It allows us to see the bigger picture, understand how systems interact, and create interventions that address root causes rather than symptoms. Whether working with families, individuals, or entire communities, this theory reminds us that change doesn't happen in isolation. It's a collaborative process. Thank you for watching. I hope this inspires you to think systemically in your own practice. And one last quote from Ludwig. We are seeking another basic outlook, the world as an organization. This would profoundly change categories of our thinking and influence our practical attitudes. We must envision the biosphere as a whole with mutually reinforcing or mutually destructive interdependencies. Once again, thank you very much for sticking around and watching my presentation. I hope you all enjoyed.